Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hello, my name is Anvita. I read, I love to talk about books and all my other hobbies and yeah. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my June wrap up. But before we get started, I have some exciting news that I would like to share with you guys. So this setting that you see might be the last time that you're seeing it because I'm moving. This has been kind of in the works for a long time. If you guys are new or if you have not known me for a while, then you might not know this, but I actually moved to Delhi 3 years, less than 3 years ago. But before that, we lived in Dubai, and I'm moving back to Dubai in a couple weeks. So next time you see me, this setting won't be there. So I'm excited to take you guys with me to wherever I'll be next in Dubai, and shop for shop for bookshelves, and show you guys my new setup, my new room, maybe decorate my new room with you guys. And yeah, I'm very excited for it, very excited to move, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, it'll be sad though. Like, I've had this wall with me for the last 3 years, and it'll be sad to let it go. But new wall, new opportunities, new ways to decorate my room. So yeah, excited and looking forward to it, and I hope you guys are too. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time from Dubai. Anyways, that's about it for the announcement. Let's move on. Let's get started with the June wrap up. This has been, I think, one of the best months I've had so far this year. Yeah, I think this and maybe May were like the best months, or April. I can't remember. There was one month where I read like 2 more books than I read this month, I think. But yeah, anyways, second best month reading wise I've had this year, in terms of quantity but also in terms of quality, just because I had a lot of like good reads this month. Okay, so let's get started. For June, I read 15 books and 4,824 pages, which is crazy. Literally, some of these, like, for me, June is kind of like divided in half, just because almost like, I think, third week of June, I had like my Bangkok trip. So like, there's like the books I read before that and then the ones I read after, and it's like the moods were so completely different, and like just like it felt like such a long month just because of how many good books I read in such a short amount of time, that it didn't feel like it was in 1 month. So yeah, anyways, 15 books, 4,000 something pages. My top 3 moods were emotional, funny, and dark. Yeah. Let's see. All the books I read were fiction. My top 3 genres were contemporary, LGBTQ, and romance. Yeah. And as I said, in terms of quality, it was a good month. My average rating was 4.3 stars. More like every book was above 3 stars, which is kind of crazy. And this is what my reading looked like in June. As you can see, there's that 1 week where there was very little reading, and actually, yeah, I don't know, it was a lot of ups and downs, as you can see. A lot of reading on some days and then none after, but that's because the books were so good that they kept giving me like so much, like, I don't even know, just like I kept thinking about the books, and like I was in a slump basically for like a brief amount of time after each good book, because I was like, I'm not ready to let them go. But then I wanted to keep reading and I wanted to read more. So yeah, that's what that was. Anyways, let's get on with the books. The first book that I read in June was funny story. If you haven't seen it, you can go check out my vlog for all my thoughts on the book. But in short, I loved it. Happy Place was the one I read before this, and that one wasn't that much for me in terms of romance. I love the friendship and stuff in it, but the romance wasn't hitting. But this I enjoyed a lot more, and yeah, the romance was definitely good. The friendship also was really good. The found family of it all. Yeah, I enjoyed this one a lot. But yeah, you can check out my vlog if you want my reactions, or if you want to see like my actual thoughts in between like chapters and like moments and scenes. So yeah, first book of June was Funny Story by Emily Henry. Also, if you haven't read it, go check it out, because this would be a good, I mean, it's set in like May and June, in July I think, so it's like a perfect like summertime book. So if you haven't read it, now's the time. Okay, second one changed my life. If you've seen my mid-year book freak out tag video, then you'll know about this one. But this was the second book of June, The Darkness Outside Us by Elliot Streffer. I absolutely loved it. This was not even in my radar. I had not heard of this book at all. And then I got it at Y'all West. And then I ended up just picking it up because, you know, two guys in space. And I was like, it's Pride Month. Why not? Yeah. It was so good. It was insane. I'm not much of a sci-fi person in the sense that I love it when I read it, but I haven't read a lot of it. So this is definitely another reason why I should get more into sci-fi books. But yeah, set in the future, set in space, mystery, you know, mysterious things happening with two boys falling in love, YA. Yeah, so freaking good. I even made an entire short just talking about how much I love this book. So you should read it. Also, another good reason to pick it up right now is that this is being turned into a film by Elliot Page. So you should check it out. Yeah, and the sequel for this is coming out, I think, in October. So very, very excited. Yeah, fantastic book. Second book of June. Okay, so the third book that I read was another new release that I've been really looking forward to. It's called 12th Night by Alexine Farrell Folmouth. This is the same author, Olivia Blake. You know, Olivia Blake is her pseudonym. But yeah, this is YA. This is set, I mean, 12th Night should give you an idea, but it's basically an adaptation of the play 12th Night. And, you know, she's the man vibes. Her basically cosplaying or like acting like she's a guy in this like what's it called, the game yeah, the game is called 12th Night, but yeah, an online RPG role-playing game called 12th Night, where she's basically acting like a guy because it's like very male centric and like very not male centric, not the game itself, but like the community is all like males, and like they like, yeah, she didn't want to be mansplained every step of the way during the game, so she let everybody think she's a guy. As it says, online teammate, offline nemesis, game on. Yeah, it was fun. I liked the banter. I liked the, you know, just thinking about she's the man and like 12th Night and like just the tropes and stuff that come with that. And like, I recently also rewatched She's the Man after reading this, like literally last week, and enjoyed it a lot. So highly recommend for that. And highly recommend the author's other book, My Mechanical Romance, which I enjoyed way more than I enjoyed this one. But yeah, both were good. Also love Olivia's all other books. I'm currently reading The Atlas Paradox. So yeah. Anyways, third book of June, 12th Night by Alexine Farrell Folmouth. Yeah. As you can see. Oh, I'm just noticing, but yeah, it says it here. Atlas 6. Okay. Anyways, after this, I finally if you saw my vlog, no, if you saw my wrap up for April or May, then you would know that I've been reading the Witch Boy series by Molly Knox Ostertag. And so my hold for the third book, the third graphic novel in that series, finally came. It's called The Midwinter Witch, and it was just as good as the others, just as fun. I had, I loved it. I loved the whole, I love just her way of weaving a story. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, the way she uses, like, magic terms or, like, magical worlds and stuff. And, like, to talk about things in the real world, like, like mental health or, like, you can relate it to anything, to be honest. Like, but the way she uses those to, like, allude to them is just so interesting and so well done. So yeah, highly recommend the Witch Boy series. It's graphic novels, really good artwork, good storyline, Yeah, very relatable, very comforting. Yeah, so finished that series, loved it. Can't wait to read more of Molly's works soon, hopefully. Anyways, next 3 books, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. Book 5, 6, and 7 of June was a series of 3 books. If you saw my mid-year book freakout tag, then you know about this because this was my favorite sequels of the year so far, and they are the Foxhole Court series. I mean, All for the Game series. Absolutely loved it. Yeah, the annotations should tell you something. Yeah, if I could annotate every single page of this book, of these books, I would. I still can't stop thinking about it. I still keep reading fan fiction for them, for all the characters. Yeah. Very, very excited to read The Sunshine Court and then read the rest of the series whenever they come out, hopefully, because Nora did say that the second book is going to be out in the fall. So I'm hoping we get a release date soon, and once we do, I shall start The Sunshine Court. But yeah, very excited to start that, especially since it's set in USC. But yeah, love this series. Check trigger warnings though. Might not be everyone's cup of tea, but if you are deranged, mentally ill like me, you might enjoy these. But yeah. I will also say that, like, the first book is good, but it's good now because I look back into it and it all makes sense. But, like, once I'd read the first book, I was still like, I don't know why everyone's always talking about these books and, like, what's the big deal with it, because, like, I hadn't felt like that moment that pulled me into this series. But then I got to Raven King and I was like, oh, it all makes sense now. I'm never gonna let the series go. I'm never gonna stop thinking about them. So yeah, give it time is what I will say if you do read it. But yeah, All for the Game series, absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Probably the best series I've read this year. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely the series that I will not stop thinking about for a long, long time. Like, the character especially. Like, yeah. But, that was book 5, 6, and 7. And then book 8 was basically just like, all the extras of the series. Like, the author had put up a lot of, like, questions and answers on Tumblr, and also just, like, extra stories, like prequels or, like, short stories about, like, things that happened before the book or things that happened during the book that weren't shown in the books, or, like, alternate endings and, like, things like that, basically. So, and it was like a 400-page book, all the extras. So yeah, I added it. So yeah, that was book 8. Yeah, so book 8 was all the extras for the game series. So yeah, so good. Okay. Anyways, and then after finishing that, I went back to Molly Knox Ostertag because I was still like thinking a lot about, you know, just as I mentioned, like the way she does imagery and like just the way she uses symbolism of like magical terms or like magical things and turns it into like I don't even know how to explain it. Like, if I don't have the words, but yeah, The Deep Dark by Molly Knox Ostertag. I got this at Y'all West, and yeah, so I loved this one. I think this and The Girl from the Sea might be my favorite. I literally can't choose, but like this one, like when like the what's under like in the basement thing, like the meaning of it started to hit me, then I was just like, oh, oh, I understand. Yeah. And also just like the ending where she like has her picture from what's the forest? No, from Joshua Tree. Yeah, where she has that picture from Joshua Tree and like just, you know, it's talking about her own experience. Like that's yeah. Anyways, loved it. Loved the artistic style. Loved the black and white with the hint of color for the childhood scene and like just everything about it. Like I don't even know how to explain, but yeah, just embracing yourself completely and like being true to who you are and like all the meaning behind the fantasy aspect of the book. Yeah, loved it. The Deep Dark by Molly Knox Ostertag. This was book 9 of June. Book 10 was The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. My first Ashley Poston, definitely not my last. This book I read for my book club, which you can join with the link below. It's free, it's on Fable, wonderful app. If you're looking for an alternative for Goodreads, join Fable. Yeah, anyways, The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston. Absolutely loved it. This was so fun. The banter was so good, and just like the style of humor and like the ghost jokes and like the morbid jokes, basically, so up my alley. I love that. I love Ben. Was his name Ben? Right? Yeah, Benji. Ben. Love him. Love her. Love Florence. She was a little bit too much about like, oh, I'm the weird girl who sees ghosts and like all that. But like other than that, I did love it. Yeah, I love the whole family aspect of it too, and just like the way they discuss death and like how they embrace it, I guess, but also like show the real sides of losing someone and especially a parental figure, I guess. Yeah, yeah, definitely loved it a lot. It reminded me kind of like 2000s rom-com movies, specifically like the one I think it's called Just Like Heaven or something, but yeah, the one with Reese Witherspoon. Anyways, really enjoyed it. Felt like I was watching a rom-com basically. Yeah, definitely not my last book by this author. Loved it a lot. I'm excited to read The 7-Year Slip and a novel love story, which I have, which I'm gonna try and read at some point this month, hopefully. So, yeah. Book 10, I think. Yeah. Book 10 of June, The Dead Romantics. Okay, so after this was when, after finishing this, I went to Bangkok on my trip and I carried one book with me, and that book turned out to be not a good read for flights specifically, but also just like quite heavy to not read, so that I could not read it on a trip that was like fun and exciting, obviously. So ended up starting that during like on the way to Bangkok, and then not reading for a couple days because that's the only book I had. And then I got back and I like continued reading it, but like I needed like lighter reads while reading that heavy book. So I went back to my YA romance era basically, and finally started Anne Liang's books. So I read If You Could See the Sun by Anne Liang, and this I literally started at like I think like 8 p.m. or something, while after taking a break from the heavy book, and I was like, I need something light and something like that I can read like 100 pages of and then go to sleep or something. And then I picked this up, and then I ended up staying up till like 3 or 4 a.m. finishing it because it was so good. It was so bingeable. It was so just, I don't even know how to describe it. Like, I didn't know what this book was about. The only thing I knew about it was that it was set in boarding school and, set in China, and that's all I knew about it. And then we get to like the plot twist or like what happens. The magical aspect, fantasy aspect of the book, basically. And then I'm just like, what is going on? And then obviously, her and Henry. What do I even say? Like, love the banter in this too. Love the rivalry. Love going from the rivalry to lovers. Like, so freaking good. Like, I had such a fun time. It was so easy to read, so fast, so bingeable. I literally did not get up once while reading this. Like, I sat down to read a few chapters before going to bed, and then ended up finishing the entire book. So that should say something about it. But yeah, now I know why everyone keeps talking about her books, because they are so good. And I am very excited to read more, hopefully soon. Also, I've had this for over a year, I think maybe 2 years now. Just because, and like, I just had to get it. Like, if you can see this cover, you must understand why. Like, look at it. It's so beautiful. It's so pretty. Wonder who did it, but stunning. Absolutely stunning. But yeah, finished in one day. Absolutely loved it. Highly recommend if you're looking for a YA romance, if you're looking for some magic realism, some rivalry, two lovers. Yeah. Okay, this was book 11 of June. And then the next day I went back to the heavy book, and I was like, okay, I do need a light read again to read before bed tonight. I was like, why not just do the other Anne Young book that I have? So I did, and then I again ended up staying up till like 3 or 4 a.m. I don't learn my lessons. But yeah, I picked this up again at night, and then ended up staying up till 3 or 4, finishing it. But yeah, Anne Young's second book, this time it's real. This was also so fun. An actor dating his classmate, fake dating his classmate, and just, yeah, viral story. She's a writer, she wants to be a writer, and like, just, I don't even know. It was just so fun. They're all just so fun. They're both so fun. Highly recommend reading both of them. Yeah, again, set in China. Yeah, if you need some YA romance after this, or if you're not in the mood for rivals to lovers but instead are interested in fake dating to lovers, might I suggest this. But yeah, Anne Young's books, highly recommend. I will definitely be checking out the other book that I've seen everywhere on Bookstagram. It's called I Hope This Doesn't Find You, I think. It's like 10 things I no, not 10 things. What am I saying? To all the boys I've loved before, but instead of sending letters to people that she likes, it's people she hates or something like her accidental hate mail getting sent or something like that is what I've heard. I could be completely wrong, but yeah, I'm excited to read that. But book 11 and 12 of June, highly recommend. Then I finally finished the heavy book that I'd started in Bangkok or like on the way to Bangkok. And it was Martyr by Kaveh Akbar. This was so good, but like definitely don't read it on a flight. Don't read it if you're not emotionally ready for it. I guess check trigger warnings. Um, yeah, like I don't even know what to say. But basically, I don't even know what to say. This book has a lot of good writing and like it's very beautifully written and like a lot of things that like made me think a lot and stuff. And then you get to like the second half or like in the middle towards the second half of the book, and there's like this plot twist that comes up, and that like I mean I guessed it before like it came, but like when it did come, I was still shocked. So yeah, I would recommend reading it because it is a very good book and very well written and very, yeah, a lot of things going on. Like I don't even know how to explain it, but yeah, basically about this guy who works as an actor, like who does like unnamed roles, I guess, like patient number this or whatever in Indiana. And then he like he's a writer though. He's a poet. He's a writer, and he wants to write a book about martyrs and like basically just shows like his journey of it and like coming across people who want their death to mean something and like yeah, basically comes across this artist who is basically showcasing the process of her dying as she battles cancer. Kind of. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah. And like just his thoughts on it and like his excerpts of the book that he's writing while he's like going about researching what to write in the book. But yeah, very good. Very good. Yeah. Highly recommend. Martyr by Kaveh Akbar. This was book number 13 of June. Yeah. Okay. Book number 14 of June was a light-hearted book because I needed that after this. And this time there was no Anne Liang book to make me regret my decision of staying up again. I mean, not that I regretted those books or staying up to read those books, but you know, couldn't do it a third night in a row. So I started and finished. Welcome to the Hyunam Dong Bookshop by Hwang Boram. This was book 14 of June. I absolutely loved it. It made me think so much about things that I already think about a lot, like about like the need like to work and like the mindset about needing to work and like the and how capitalism and capitalist society plays a role in it and like those kind of things. But also like that's like a very brief topic in this just because of a book that they read in it. But so many topics in this that I just loved, and so much discussion about like books and like very realistic portrayal of how it is to run a bookshop. So if anyone has ever dreamed of wanting to open up a bookshop, this might help you understand the realities of it a little bit and give you some tips too of how to run it or like what you could do to make it successful. But yeah, a lot of very good lines, a lot of good quotes that I really enjoyed in this and things that like made me think a lot basically. But yeah, very bookish for all the book lovers out there. Like highly recommend. So fun. Yeah. I really, really enjoyed this one. Yeah. Yes. Okay. Anyways, this was book 14 of June. And then after this, I wanted some more like lighthearted, nighttime reads. And so I went back to my webtoon phase and have started reading webtoons again. I'm currently, I think, on my third or fourth one right now. So, yeah, a lot of webtoons will be talked about in my July wrap up. But yeah, so the last book of June, which was the webtoon, which kickstarted my webtoon binge kind of, is Perfect Marriage Revenge. This one was super fun up until they got together and then it became cheesy. But in the beginning, it was super fun and like kind of reminded me of the K drama Marry My Husband, which is also based on a webtoon. So you can read that if you want. But yeah, this one is basically about this girl who ends up getting in a car accident after she finds out that her husband has been cheating on her with her stepsister, and ends up she after like she gets in the accident, she ends up traveling back in time to 1 year before they were married, and then goes about getting her revenge and living her best life ever. And yeah, basically things transpire after that. But yeah, it's like I think 100 something episodes, or like chapters, I guess. So yeah, super fun. I enjoyed it a lot. It also made me lose sleep, which is not ideal, but whatever. But yeah, that was book 15 of June, and this is all the books that I read in June. That is all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what your favorite book of June was in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching. Also, if you've seen my mid-year reading, what's the tag called? Mid-year book freakout tag vlog, or no. If you've seen my mid-year no.